I walked into the restaurant expecting a casual family dinner. Instead, I saw my mom holding up her glass, toasting to Caleb and Jenna's engagement, my fiancé and my sister. My stomach dropped. Caleb slipped a diamond ring on Jenna's finger while everyone clapped like it was the best day of their lives. I couldn't breathe. I didn't scream. I didn't throw the wine glass in my hand. I just stood there, frozen, watching my whole family celebrate the ultimate betrayal, the man I planned to marry, the sister I shared a bedroom with growing up, and the mother who clearly knew everything. When Caleb finally noticed me, he froze for a second. His mouth opened, then closed, like he was searching for some excuse. Instead, Jenna grabbed his arm and kissed him right in front of me. That was the moment I realized it wasn't a mistake. It was a plan. The worst part, everyone else kept clapping. My uncle even whistled. My aunt shouted, "About time," like this was some grand love story instead of the ugliest knife shoved into my back. I heard my mom say, "We wanted to surprise you." Surprise me? With my fiancé proposing to my sister, my vision blurred. My knees almost gave out, but I forced myself to stay standing because I knew if I collapsed, they'd think they'd won. "Wow," I finally said. My voice cracked, but I didn't care. That's one hell of a surprise. The table went quiet for a moment. Then Jenna smirked. She actually smirked. And Caleb avoided my eyes. I left before they could say another word. I grabbed my coat and walked straight out into the freezing night air. My phone buzzed. 10 missed calls from Caleb. A string of texts from my mom. None from Jenna, of course. She didn't need to explain. She had already taken everything. When I got home, I tore the pictures of me and Caleb off the walls. I stuffed every memory of him into trash bags. Then I saw the wedding dress hanging in the corner of my closet. White lace, paid for with my savings. I sat on the floor and laughed until I cried. That night I didn't sleep. I just replayed every red flag I ignored. Caleb being busy at work, Jenna suddenly helping him with errands, my mom pushing me to focus on myself when I asked about Caleb acting distant. They thought they were so clever. By morning, anger replaced the shock. I wasn't just going to roll over and let them rewrite my life. If my family wanted a spectacle, I would give them one. So I called Caleb. He picked up immediately. "Please, Ellie, let me explain. I cut him off. "You mean explain how you got down on one knee for my sister while I was still your fiancé? Or how you smiled at me last week and told me you couldn't wait to marry me?" He stammered. "It wasn't like that. I didn't plan." I laughed bitterly. "Don't bother. I saw the ring." That wasn't last minute. He went silent. Then, in the softest voice, he said, "I didn't know how to tell you." That line broke something in me. I snapped. "You didn't know how to tell me? You could have started by not sleeping with my sister." Click. I hung up before he could reply. 2 hours later, Jenna showed up at my apartment. She didn't knock. She barged in like she owned the place. "You're being dramatic," she said, tossing her blonde hair over her shoulder. "We didn't mean for it to happen, but it did. Caleb and I are in love. You'll understand one day." I stared at her. My hands were shaking. "In love? With my fiancé? Are you insane?" She rolled her eyes. "Oh, please. You and Caleb were falling apart anyway. Everyone could see it. Everyone." That word cut deeper than the betrayal itself. My own family had been rooting for this. Behind my back, Jenna kept talking. "Besides, Mom says you'll bounce back. You've always been strong. You'll find someone else." I wanted to scream. Instead, I whispered, "Get out." She smirked again before leaving, like she'd already won. The silence in my apartment after she left was unbearable. I sat on the couch, fists clenched, heart pounding. That's when a thought hit me. They believed I was powerless, that I'd just disappear while they lived happily ever after. But they underestimated me, and that was their first mistake. Asterisk. The next day, I got the call I dreaded. It wasn't Caleb. It wasn't Jenna. It was my mother. Her voice was calm, almost rehearsed. "Ellie, we need to talk. Come over tonight. Everyone will be there." Everyone. My chest tightened. Against my better judgment, I went. I had to see just how deep this betrayal ran. When I walked into my parents' living room, the whole family sat in a circle like they were hosting an intervention. Except the target wasn't Jenna, the sister who stole my fiancé. It was me. My father cleared his throat. "Ellie, you're overreacting. This is hard, but you need to accept reality. Caleb and Jenna are meant for each other." I blinked. "Excuse me." Jenna, sitting beside Caleb with her hand proudly resting on his, smirked like she'd already won a crown. Caleb kept his eyes on the carpet. My mom added, "You're strong. Honey, you can handle this. Jenna has always been fragile. Caleb is good for her." Fragile. That word sent rage surging through me. Jenna wasn't fragile. She was calculated, manipulative, and my whole family was falling at her feet. My aunt chimed in. It's better this way. Think about it. At least Caleb stays in the family. I laughed. Bitter and sharp. Stays in the family. What is he? A pet. You don't get to pass around a fiancé like leftovers. The room went tense. My mother's face hardened. Ellie, lower your voice. We all need to move on. That's when my cousin piped up with the cruelest bull. Honestly, Ellie, maybe you should be happy for them. At least someone found love. The words hit like a slap. I realized then it wasn't just betrayal. It was exile. My family had chosen sides, and I wasn't on theirs. I stood up. My voice shook. But I forced it out. So this is it? You're all just fine with this, my fiancé cheating on me with my sister, my mother hiding it, my father condoning it, and the rest of you clapping like seals. Nobody spoke. They just looked at me like I was the problem, like I was ruining their perfect little narrative. Finally, Jenna stood. She reached for my hand like we were kids again. Ali, I know. It hurts, but you'll thank me one day. Caleb and I, we belong together. I yanked my hand away. You belong in hell together. Gasps. My uncle muttered, she's losing it. I stormed out before I could collapse. My phone buzzed all night with messages from my mom, telling me to stop causing drama and think about family unity. Family unity. The words made me want to scream. The next morning, I went to work early just to escape the madness. But even there, I couldn't hide. My coworker Lisa pulled me aside with wide eyes. Ellie, I'm so sorry. My stomach dropped. Sorry for what? She bit her lip. I saw it on Facebook. Jenna posted the engagement photos last night. Your mom shared them. They're all over town. My knees went weak. I grabbed my phone. Sure enough, there it was. A perfectly staged photo of Caleb on one knee. Jenna glowing with triumph, my mother. In the background clapping. Caption, when love finds its way. You can't fight destiny. Hundreds of likes. Dozens of comments. Beautiful couple. So happy for you both. True love wins. I couldn't breathe. They didn't just betray me privately, they paraded it online like a trophy. And now everyone knew. My coworkers, my neighbors, strangers. I was the abandoned bride-to-be whose sister swooped in. The humiliation burned, but then I noticed something. A detail in one of the photos. Caleb's phone, sticking out of his pocket. The screen was on, and I could see a name flashing in a notification. A woman's name. Not Jenna. My pulse quickened. I zoomed in. It was blurry, but readable. Claire. Claire. I didn't know any Claire, but Caleb clearly did. And that's when the wheels started turning. Maybe my sister wasn't Caleb's first betrayal. Maybe she wouldn't be his last. That thought lit a spark inside me. A dangerous spark. That night, while my family probably celebrated their new golden couple, I started digging. Old emails, old bills, anything that tied Caleb to secrets he thought he buried. And sure enough, I found it. A charge on his credit card. A hotel room, booked under his name. Just last month. Not with me. Not with Jenna. Someone else. Suddenly, everything shifted. My family thought I was the victim, that I'd fade into the background while they crowned Jenna queen. But they didn't know the truth I was holding. They thought I was broken. But really, I was just getting started. Asterisk. The hotel receipt burned in my hands like proof of fire. Caleb wasn't just a cheater, he was a serial liar. And if my family thought siding with him and Jenna was the end of the story, they hadn't seen anything yet. I spent 3 nights piecing together everything. Screenshots, credit card statements, the string of flirty emails Caleb stupidly left in a shared account we once used for travel bookings. The woman Claire wasn't just anyone. She was a bartender from a club downtown. Younger than Jenna. Prettier, even. And then the idea hit me. Not just revenge, spectacle. If they wanted a show, I'd give them one they'd never forget. The timing was perfect. My mother had announced an engagement celebration dinner at a rented banquet hall. The whole family, friends, co-workers, neighbors, everyone who mattered in their world would be there. They thought I wouldn't show, that I'd be too humiliated, that I'd hide in my apartment and let them rewrite the story of my life. Instead, I walked in wearing the white lace dress I'd bought for my wedding, the dress Jenna thought she stole from me. Gasps rippled through the room. People whispered. Jenna's smile faltered for the first time. Caleb went pale. Ellie. My mom's voice cracked. What are you doing? I raised my glass. Don't worry, Mom. I'm just here to toast the happy couple. After all, everyone deserves to know the truth. I pulled out a stack of printed photos, screenshots of Caleb's emails to Claire, copies of hotel bookings, Texts where he promised her a future. I started handing them out like party favors. The room exploded. People flipped through the papers with wide eyes. Murmurs turned into shouts. My uncle dropped his fork. My aunt gasped so loud it echoed. Jenna snatched one of the pages, her face twisting. What is this? Caleb reached for her hand, but I cut in, my voice sharp. Oh, that, just your fiance's other girlfriend, Claire. He told her she was his real soulmate. Funny, right? The silence that followed was electric. Then someone laughed. A harsh, nervous laugh. I kept going. You all thought I was the crazy one. Overreacting. Being dramatic. Meanwhile, Caleb couldn't keep his pants zipped for 5 minutes. And you, I pointed at Jenna. You thought you won. But sweetheart, you weren't even the main act. You were just the opening number. The room erupted. Guests whispering, some walking out, others glaring at Caleb like he was filth. My mom's face turned red. Stop this madness, Ellie, you're embarrassing yourself, embarrassing myself. I barked out a laugh. No, Mom, I'm exposing the circus you all helped build. Jenna shoved Caleb's arm away. Is it true? She screamed. Tell me it's not true. Caleb stuttered. It was before you. It didn't mean I cut him off. Don't lie, Caleb. The last hotel stay. That was 2 weeks ago, while you were already engaged to Jenna. Jenna's face drained of color. She grabbed her purse and stormed out, heels clicking like gunshots. Caleb chased after her, stammering apologies. My family scrambled in chaos. And me, I stood there, sipping champagne. Watching the empire of lies crumble, people began coming up to me, whispering things like good for you, and I had a feeling about him. The same people who clapped at the proposal now shifted like rats abandoning a sinking ship. The best part, halfway through the chaos, my phone buzzed. A message from an unknown number. Hi. This is Claire. I think we need to talk. I almost burst out laughing. The timing was unreal. Claire wasn't just a hidden affair, she was ready to burn it all down with me. By the end of the night, Caleb was gone, Jenna was in tears somewhere, and my mother sat stone-faced, humiliated in front of her entire social circle. I walked out of that banquet hall in my wedding dress, heels clicking against the marble floor, head held high. People stared. Some even clapped. For the first time, I wasn't the victim in their eyes. I was the storm. Outside, the cold air hit me like freedom. I opened the message from Claire again and typed back 3 words, let's meet tomorrow. Because this wasn't over. Not by a long shot. Asterisk. The next morning, I met Claire at a cafe downtown. She was even younger than her pictures, long dark hair, sharp eyes that looked both angry and humiliated. She didn't waste time with pleasantries. So, you're Ellie. And you're Claire, I replied, sliding into the booth. The other fiancé. Her jaw tightened. He told me he was single. Then last week he said he was sorting things out. I thought he meant an ex. Not your sister. I laughed bitterly. Yeah, welcome to the club. Caleb's great at collecting women like souvenirs. She pulled out her phone and pushed it across the table. Screenshots of texts, voice messages, pictures. Caleb telling her she was the only one who understood him, promising to take her to Florida, even wiring her money for expenses. Money? I asked. Eyebrows raised. Claire smirked. Yeah. He's been sending me cash every week. Said he didn't want me working late at the bar, wanted me to be taken care of. Something clicked in my brain. Caleb wasn't generous. He barely paid his half of rent when we lived together. Where was this money coming from? Claire scrolled further, showing me bank transfers. That's not his account. I muttered, staring at the numbers. That's my dad's business account. My blood ran cold. My father owned a small construction company. Caleb had been helping with paperwork the past year. Suddenly, it all made sense. Wait, Claire said slowly. Are you telling me this wasn't his money? I slammed my palm on the table. It's theft. He's been funneling money from my family's company to keep his side girlfriend. Claire's eyes widened. Oh my God. How much? I thought back to the endless business trips, the new watch Caleb suddenly had, the dinners he claimed his company paid for. Thousands, I whispered, maybe more. That's when the plan crystallized. Caleb thought cheating was my breaking point. He had no idea financial fraud was the knife-edge twist. I leaned closer. Claire, do you want to wreck him? She smiled for the first time. Absolutely. We spent hours plotting. Claire handed over screenshots, receipts, and the juicy details Caleb had stupidly confessed in his drunk texts. I added what I had: copies of emails, financial statements. Piece by piece, we built the case. And then, the stunt. My family, desperate to save face after the banquet disaster, announced a new family dinner to clear the air. Another chance to shove Jenna and Caleb down everyone's throats. Perfect stage. Perfect. Audience. Claire agreed to play her role. She walked into the dinner late, heels clicking, red dress blazing like a warning. Gasps filled the room. Jenna's face turned sheet white. Caleb nearly dropped his fork. "Hi everyone," Claire said sweetly. "Sorry I'm late." "Caleb, darling, you didn't tell me this was a family affair." The room froze. My mother's jaw dropped. My father blinked in confusion. Jenna shot up. "Who the hell is she?" I leaned back in my chair, savoring the chaos. "That's Claire, Caleb's other girlfriend. Or should I say, his funded girlfriend. Dad, you might want to listen to this part." Claire pulled out her phone and projected the screenshots onto the TV with a simple cable. Texts, transfers, voice notes, everything. Caleb wiring money. Caleb calling her future wife. Caleb bragging about how easy it was to borrow from the business account. My father's face turned purple. "You stole from me," he roared. Caleb stammered. "I was going to pay it back, my father thundered. "You funneled thousands of dollars to some bar girl." Claire folded her arms. "Ex-bar girl. Thanks to his money. And yes, every dime came from your company." The room exploded. Jenna screamed at Caleb. My mom shouted at me to stop. My cousins gawked like they were watching live theater. I raised my glass to family unity. "Isn't this what you wanted, Mom?" Caleb kept it in the family by robbing us blind. Jenna shoved Caleb hard. "You told me you loved me," Caleb shouted back. "I did. But Claire," Jenna shrieked, her voice cracking. "You gave her money. You stole from her dad." Everyone was shouting. Plates clattered. My father nearly lunged across the table. Caleb tried to defend himself, but every word only dug the hole deeper. I sat back, calm in the chaos, watching the empire fall. For the first time, it wasn't me under fire. It was them. Claire leaned toward me and whispered, "So, what's next?" I smiled. "Next, we don't just burn his bridges, we take him down for good." Because Caleb thought betrayal was his game. But money, fraud, that was mine. Asterisk. The fallout from Claire's stunt ripped through my family like a tornado. My phone buzzed nonstop with texts, some supportive, most furious. My mother called 12 times before I finally answered. Her voice was ice. "Ali, you need to stop this circus. Right now." I laughed bitterly. "Stop? You mean stop exposing your precious Caleb, the man who robbed Dad and humiliated me?" "You're humiliating us," she snapped. "Do you have any idea how this makes our family look?" "Oh, I think I do," I shot back. "Like enablers. Like fools. Like you cared more about Jenna's fairy tale than the truth." Her voice cracked then. "You're destroying us." Click. I hung up. 2 hours later, they showed up at my apartment. My mom, Dad, and Jenna storming in like they owned the place. Caleb wasn't with them. He'd gone underground, probably terrified. My father would strangle him. Jenna's eyes were bloodshot. She pointed a shaking finger at me. "Delete everything. Right now." "Delete what?" I asked calmly. She snarled. "The screenshots. The receipts. The messages. If you love this family at all, you'll bury it." I leaned against the counter, folding my arms. "Funny. When Caleb cheated, you told me to move on. Now it's your turn. Move on." Jenna lunged toward me, but my father pulled her back. His voice was low, desperate. "Ali, please. We can't afford a scandal. The company's already struggling. If people find out Caleb stole from me," I cut him off. "If people find out, Dad." "People already know. Half the town saw the screenshots last night." That's when my mother blurted it out. "The secret that changed everything? Ellie, your father knew." The words hit me like a punch. Froze. "What?" My dad's face went pale. "Martha," he warned, but she kept going. "He knew Caleb was taking the money. He let him. Said it was temporary, said he'd pay it back when they married and joined the business officially." I stared at my father. My heart thudded in my chest. "You knew. You let him steal." His voice was gravel. "I thought I was helping him. Helping Jenna. We needed him in the company. I couldn't risk losing him." My throat went dry. "So you risked losing me instead." Silence. Heavy, suffocating silence. I laughed, sharp and hollow. "Unbelievable. You all plotted against me, handed my fiancé to my sister, and let him rob you blind. And I'm the one ruining the family." My father's voice broke. "Ali, please. If this comes out, the business collapses. The employees, our reputation." I cut him off again. "Maybe it should collapse. Maybe it deserves to." Jenna stepped forward, eyes wild. "You're jealous. That's what this is. You couldn't handle Caleb choosing me. So now you want to burn everything down." I stared at her, heat rising in my chest. "He didn't choose you, Jenna. He used you. The same way he used Dad. The same way he used Claire. And you're too blind to see it." Her face twisted. She raised her hand like she might slap me. My mom grabbed her arm, but the message was clear: they weren't here for reconciliation. They were here to silence me. "We can't let you do this," my mom said quietly. My dad added, "If you go public, Ellie, you're not just hurting Caleb. You're hurting us. You're hurting everyone." Something snapped in me then. I looked each of them in the "You hurt me first, and now you're terrified because I finally fought back." They left after that, slamming the door behind them, but the damage was done. That night, I sat in the dark, shaking. My own father had covered for Caleb. My mother had chosen Jenna over me. My sister had stolen everything I thought I had. I was alone, but I wasn't weak. I pulled out my laptop and started writing everything down. Not just Caleb's affairs, not just the theft, but my family's cover-up. Every lie, every manipulation, every dirty little secret they tried to bury. Because if they wanted me silent, they were about to regret it. The world deserved to know. And for once, the story would be mine to tell. Asterisk. I didn't sleep that night. The more I typed, the more the anger turned into clarity. They wanted silence. They wanted obedience. But I was done being the quiet daughter. At sunrise, I hit post. A full expose: Caleb's cheating, the stolen money, the receipts, the cover-up, my father's silence, my mother's complicity, Jenna's betrayal. I dumped it all online, names included. The post spread like wildfire. Neighbors shared it. Old friends messaged me. Strangers commented by the hundreds. "This is insane. You're so strong. Burn them all down." By noon, my phone exploded with calls. My mother shrieking that I'd ruined the family name. My father begging me to delete it. Jenna threatening to sue me. Caleb alternating between apologies and rage, and then silence. Because within hours, the local news picked it up. Family business under fire after allegations of embezzlement and affair scandal. There it was, my family's golden reputation shattered in print. That evening, I walked past their house. Reporters swarmed the lawn. Cameras flashed. My mother pulled the curtains shut. My father's face was pale in the window. Jenna wasn't there. Rumor was she'd run to a friend's house, screaming about humiliation. And Caleb fired. My dad had no choice but to cut him loose when the investigation began. Except now Caleb wasn't just jobless. He was under official review for fraud. The empire they tried to build on my broken back, collapsing. But the real explosion came later. I was at home when my phone buzzed with a message from Claire. "Turn on the news." I did. And nearly dropped the remote. There was Claire live on air telling her side. She showed screenshots, played Caleb's voicemails, described the money he sent her. And then, the bombshell: she admitted Caleb had promised to leave Jenna and take Claire to Florida with the stolen cash. Reporters ate it up. The internet devoured it. Suddenly, this wasn't just a family feud. It was a full-blown scandal with national headlines. Man cheats fiancé with her sister and mistress. Funds affair with embezzled money. I laughed until I cried. The phone rang again. My mom. I answered this time, just to hear it. Her voice was broken. "Ellie, please, come home. We need to fix this together." I was quiet for a moment. Then I said, calm and sharp, "You only call me family when you need saving. But I don't belong to you anymore." Double quotes clicked. The next morning, I left town, packed a suitcase, closed my apartment, and drove until the skyline disappeared. People might think I ran away, but the truth, I was free. For the first time in years, free from Caleb's lies, Jenna's shadow, my parents' manipulation. I stopped at a diner miles away, ordered coffee, and opened my phone, notifications still exploding. Messages from people I'd never met, thanking me for telling the truth, sharing their own betrayal stories. For the first time, my pain wasn't just destruction. It was connection. As I sat there, the waitress slid a note across the counter. "You're stronger than you think." I smiled, because maybe, just maybe, she was right. And as for Caleb, Jenna, and the rest of them, they wanted a perfect love story. Instead, they became a cautionary tale, broadcast for the world to see. And me, I didn't just survive their betrayal, I turned it into fire. Asterisk. That's the end of today's story. Did things turn out the way you thought? Or were there some surprises along the way? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear what you think. If you enjoyed this journey, don't forget to hit the like button. And if you haven't joined the community yet, now's the perfect time. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you're always the first to catch new stories. Thanks for watching. And I'll see you in the next adventure. Asterisk.